And I know it's Thursday. I'll be honest, last night I was just so busy between work and between getting off and taking care of my kids. I just didn't have time to do it. So here we are, Thursday afternoon, Wednesdays with Wager. Interesting, interesting turn of events, right? But so here we go. It's simple. Same guidelines, same stuff, same thing we're going to talk about. NFL picks. Again, and it's okay to do it in the middle of the week, right? We haven't done that yet. Obviously, I don't have any people in here, so that's different. What's up, Googs? All right. But yeah, so again, I know I missed it yesterday and last night. Again, I had worked later and got off. It just couldn't happen last night. Had my kids, all that good stuff. But here we are this morning. Tonight we have a great game. This Thursday night game, Rams versus 49ers. In the 49ers, which is this game's a big game in this division. Seattle's leading the division right now, but the Rams are close, like within a game. They both play later in the year. The 49ers are a couple games back, but they're still playing. Plus, both these teams are still in the mix for the wild card. Right now, it has 49ers -3. It's in 49ers. That makes sense. They think this is kind of a toss-up game. I agree with that for the most part. The total's at 48.5, so that's a lot of points. But with the Rams' offense being the way it is, that's the Rams can score. So the 49ers are more sporadic. So some weeks they're all over it. Some weeks they're not so great. They've had a lot of injuries that put them in this situation where they're kind of having to piece things together. A couple weeks ago, they lost both backup running backs, and then the next week they lost their stud running back that came back for a week. I mean, the 49ers have just really been decimated by injuries. In this game, Trent Williams isn't a go, so their best lineman, maybe the best lineman in the NFL when he's healthy, isn't going to play. So there's just a lot going on with the 49ers. The Rams are kind of the flip side of that. The Rams injuries all happened early in the year, and they've got most of their guys back, and they're playing really great. And Puka Nacua is probably playing as good or better than any receiver in the NFL right now. The guy is a monster, which leads me to believe that Slam Brother. Okay, cool. Hello, hello, everybody. Wager me this. Yes, that is the name of the show, NFL show here. So we're just gonna go through here. The Rams are coming off a huge win against Buffalo. They came into town and the Rams gave it to them. I know where I live in Arkansas, Muhammad Limbada. Live in Arkansas, so if you don't know where that's at, it's in the United States, in the middle of the South. Nice place. Is that a gingerbread bag? Yes, something like that. It's some Christmassy stuff. Yes, hanging on the chimney back there. Yes, 100%. And but to this game, I'm actually a little afraid of the Nakua props because his yardage is at 90. Bro, what is the? Well, I don't know, bro. What is the travel lover? So again, I like the Rams here. I like the Rams getting 3 points. I like the Rams getting the three. I actually think the Rams are the better team, and they're getting points now. I know they're on the road, but this isn't exactly. No, I've never been to India, brother. I would like to go though. There's all kinds of really interesting stuff in India. Oh, cool, travel lover, India. I mean, I've seen pictures and there's really neat stuff there. So I'd love to see a bunch of it. But in this one, I think the Rams are the better football team. They're getting points. They're the hotter football team. I like it. I'm afraid of the Nakua props though because they're jacked up right now. They're way jacked up because of his success. So I'm going to stay away from those. I do like Kyron Williams to score a touchdown. It's -160, but that's actually pretty good odds for him. I think the D line for the 49ers is getting a little boost in odds there. But Kyron Williams, they give him the ball in the red zone. So Please, bro, time, tell me. What time is it here? It's like 1 o'clock here, 1 in the afternoon here, something like that, where I'm at. So I like Kyron Williams to score a touchdown. I like Stafford over 244 passing yards because the Rams seem to be a running football team, but they actually throw the ball a whole bunch, and their success rate in throwing, they're very efficient. And so they rack up yards, and Stafford's going to rack up a lot of yards here. And that's kind of how I'm betting the Nakua prop today, is I'm betting Stafford's passing yards as opposed to Nakua's receptions or Nakua's passing yards, because I think the 49ers might do some stuff to take him away and force. So the Cooper Kupp props are more interesting to me. No, soccer is a totally different game. Soccer is a game where you kick a round ball around through a goal. You can't touch it with your hands. Football is a game where you have an oval ball and it's 11 on 11 and it's a start and stop game. Soccer is more fluid. It's going all the time. Very different games, both amazing games, but very different. Google will tell you all you need to know on that. So the next one I like is I like the Rams plus 1.5. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I know. People are just care. I guess people like seeing it. I don't know. I interact with everybody, Googs. So I love it. I actually love when the people from outside of the United States interact with me, because obviously I don't know anything about those countries. I've never been to them. So I think it's great when they interact. As long as they're not saying a bunch of nasty stuff. I didn't like that the other day. Hello from Tampa Bay, Willie Navarro. I love me some Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to win that division. Love me some Tampa Bay. All right. So I like the Rams plus 1.5. International man of sports betting. I like that. Googs, you're funny. So the Rams plus 1.5 in the first half. Thank you, John. I love them too. I appreciate you guys. Netherlands, awesome, fantastic. Oh, the Christmas gamers. Oh, you're a YouTuber. I'll have to check you out, man. My son will probably be really interested. He's a big gamer. So yeah, I'll have to check it out. From the Netherlands, I love it. So I like the Rams plus 1.5 in the first half. I'm betting them plus 3 for the game. So I'm gonna double down there and get the plus 1.5 in the first half. That covers a tie, like if it's 14-14 or 13-13 or something. You're gonna get that little advantage there. And then to end this, I like both Stafford and Purdy to throw a pick in this game. You think over and under? I'll talk about the over and under. I'm not betting it, but I'll tell you what I think. So I like Stafford and Purdy to both throw a pick in this game. Again, will it happen? No, but for sure one of them will. I mean, I about guarantee one of them will. And what is my name? My name's Jacob. So Jacob, and yeah, so and people call me Wager in the YouTube world because that's my name on my channel, but also it's just kind of become my nickname. But the over and under in this game is 48.5. That's 7 touchdowns to cover the over. Less than 7 touchdowns if it goes under. The problem here is I don't think either team here does much stopping of the other team. So if I was betting the over and under, if I was going to bet it, I would take the over. And the only reason is because as of right now, both of these teams are offensive teams, not defensive teams. Even though the 49ers have lived and died on defense in the past, they're not a defensive team now. They struggle stopping everything. And the Rams aren't an overly good defensive team either. They're middle of the pack. So the Rams do rush the passer well, though. And so there's that. But anyways, so if I was going to have to take the total, I would go over here, over the 48.5, and I know that's a lot, so it'll probably come down to the last score of the game is going to get you over. So all the guys betting unders, they're going to love the game until probably the last 2 minutes, and they'll probably lose. So I would be on the over. Again, I didn't bet that, but if I was picking, I would be on the over, Robo. So that's what I got. So let's just recap what I like in this Rams game. I like the Rams plus 3. I like Kyron Williams to score a touchdown. I like Stafford over 244 passing yards. I like the Rams plus 1.5 in the first half. And I like both Stafford and Purdy to throw throw an interception in this one. I just think that they're going to do so much passing that they're going to. It's like it's almost inevitable that they throw to the other team. So let's hit some Sunday games, right? Some Sunday games. I actually like a ton of stuff this Sunday because there's so many teams that have to win, and there's some really weird numbers. And I know some of these are weather-based numbers a little bit, but some of them are odd. So let's start with Baltimore and the Giants. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, Travel. Baltimore and the Giants over 42.5. This number's too low. The way the Giants are playing and the way Baltimore's playing, the Giants, Baltimore could score all 42 of these points by themselves, and the Giants would just need a field goal. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I expect Drew Lock to throw the ball to the Baltimore a few times. Plus, Baltimore doesn't really stop anything. So if the Giants will probably score a couple times in this game, but Baltimore will probably score every time they touch it. So even if there's some bad weather there, I still think 43 is way too low. I think this game hits 49, and I think Baltimore does most of that damage, if not all of it. So I like that one a lot. Baltimore has to cover 16, or Vegas thinks they'll cover 16 or be in that range. To do that, you're going to have to score more than 42 points, in my opinion. Or at least most of the time it'll be that way. The next one is Dallas on the road +3 versus Carolina. I don't think Carolina should lay points ever, even against Dallas, but Dallas has actually played better lately. They've actually been more efficient on offense with Cooper Rush. It seems like the guys are kind of playing for their rosters next year. Plus, Dallas isn't quite out of the playoff mix. So Carolina is a game they would have to win. And so Dallas getting 3 points to me is as much of it as Carolina shouldn't be laying points. I don't think Carolina should ever be laying points. So, and then Cincinnati -5 versus Tennessee. So the one thing we know about Cincinnati is Cincinnati will blast the bad teams. They will absolutely just blast the bad teams, and they'll lose close games to the good teams. So Cincinnati -5 to me, I think they cover that. I think they probably win by 20. Tennessee won't be able to keep up scoring with this. Cincinnati's offense is a machine, and they just churn out yards after yards and touchdowns with those stud receivers. Tennessee is going to struggle to just keep up. You know, I expect Cincinnati to get 27 or more. Tennessee is their ceiling is probably 20. All right, and then I like Miami +3 going to Houston. I think this is a really good game for Miami to kind of prove that they can beat a good team. And then Houston is just not quite there, right? They're not the same thing. They'll struggle a lot with Miami's speed. And I actually trust Miami's coaching better than Houston's. Plus, you're getting 3 points. And I like that aspect. So here's the game of the day. This is for sure the game of the day. Buffalo and Detroit. Now, this is in Detroit. Now, last year, Buffalo went there on Thanksgiving and beat them. Different teams this year a little bit. Detroit seems to be the better team. Buffalo's coming off a big loss on the road. This is their second road game in a row in a dome. I just don't know how they go back-to-back on the road and win back-to-back. And Detroit, to me, is significantly the better team. So I'm going to take Detroit -2.5. It's less than a field goal, which to me, you're getting back-to-back road games for Buffalo, one all the way across. It's just a bad spot for them. The Rams were a bad spot for them, and on top, they got to go Rams, Detroit, both dome teams. They're not getting any weather advantage. I know they're going to struggle stopping Josh Allen. Everyone does, but Detroit will go up and down the field on Buffalo. So I just don't know. 2.5 isn't enough. In my opinion, this game, Detroit should be laying a touchdown, or they should be laying 6.5. And Buffalo's a really good football team, but the situational aspect of it, the spot that they're in, is terrible. So I like Detroit laying less than a field goal. Detroit -2.5. Pittsburgh versus Philly. This is kind of the other game of the day, right? Pittsburgh going on the road to Philadelphia. So This year, every time Pittsburgh kind of went on the road and was an underdog, they outright won. They outright won the game. So I like Pittsburgh plus 5.5. That's a lot of points against a Philadelphia defense. I know that looks like it's getting better, but against Russell Wilson and the offense for Pittsburgh is very efficient. They run the ball, very balanced. Pickens may or may not be back. I don't think it really matters. But I think Pittsburgh keeps this within one score. Even if they lose by less than 7. So, I think Philadelphia's hot, and Philadelphia's a really good football team, but so is Pittsburgh. And this is in-state rivalry. This is kind of like bragging rights for the state. I think this one comes down to a field goal at the end. Plus, there's probably going to be weather. It's probably going to be cold. You're giving Pittsburgh 5.5 points with that defense and an efficient offense. I just think that you got to take the points there. I don't think you can lay no points there with Philadelphia. And I think 5.5 is way too many. I think that's a 3-point game one way or the other. And then for the final pick, and this isn't a homer play, guys. I like the Broncos -4 at home versus Indy. Dome team coming to the cold, coming to the elevation. Denver's playing for a playoff spot. Indy's kind of up in the air. You know, they're kind of in the air. Who are they going with, Richardson or whatever? But Richardson's going to struggle against the really good Denver defense. And Denver's they're playing really well. Bo Nix should be able to manufacture offense. And I just think -4 at home in the weather, in the elevation, big advantage for a team that plays in a dome. You know, they're playing against a team that plays in a dome. It's just a huge advantage for Denver. Laying less than a touchdown, I'm on it. I'm on -4. I like it. All right, so to recap the sides or totals. I like Baltimore Giants over 42.5. I like Dallas +3, Cincinnati -5, Miami +3, Pittsburgh +5.5, Detroit -2.5, and Denver -4. 2 interception props. 2 guys that I think are going to throw picks this week is Jameis Winston versus KC. Cleveland has to play Kansas City. Jameis Winston, I feel like we'll throw the ball to them a few times. And Drew Lock versus Baltimore. I think he's going to air the ball out a lot, and I think Baltimore will be waiting for it. So 2 guys I really like interception props with: Jameis Winston, Drew Lock. For some teaser plays, these are the plays. Now, what I mean by this is these are the games that I think are worth your time on a teaser, a 6-point teaser. Now, some of these are going to go through the 0, but I like them. Dallas +3, tease them up to +9. Cincinnati -5, tease them down to +1. KC -4.5, tease them to +1.5. Miami +3, tease them to +9. Bills +2.5, tease them to 8.5. So now you see what I'm doing is I like Detroit on one side, just laying the 2.5. But I like the Bills if you're giving me a touchdown or more. And then Pittsburgh +5.5, teasing it all the way up to 11.5. That's probably the best one because I just seriously doubt Pittsburgh loses by more than 11 points. That seems very unlikely. So that's what I like today, guys. Hopefully you guys like the show. Thank you for everyone from around the world that watched. Again, it's really cool interacting with you guys. I like it. Everyone around the world is really interesting to me. You know, I see people from the United States every day, and, you know, our neck of the wood doesn't change much. Oh, you think DeVito's back for the Giants? That's not what I read, and that's not what it came up, but that could happen too. But if it's DeVito, I like him to throw a pick too. Either one, whether it's Locke or DeVito. And so, again, that's not exactly what I saw. I did, but we'll see. Either way, I like it, though. DeVito or Locke, either way. I think the Steelers will outright beat Philadelphia. And the reason is because we have history of the Steelers playing really well as underdogs, really well on the road. And Pittsburgh brings the more complete team, right? They bring the more complete team. And I don't think Pittsburgh's afraid of Saquon Barkley. But I'm taking the 5.5 just in case it comes down late. 3-point game. I don't think this game is more than a 3-point game when it ends. Locke is in a walking boot. Okay. Well, then it's DeVito. but that's not what I saw. But okay, that's fine. I like him to throw a pick too. Minnesota against the Bears. See, them are divisional games, and the Bears have played well against the guys divisionally. All their divisional games have been close. So, they played Detroit to 3 points. They just play those teams close. So I'm not ready to buy that yet. But I do like Minnesota if you were just taking them on the money line. But you're not going to get a good money line there. Anyways, guys, thank you for your time. I got some other stuff I need to do, but I appreciate you guys for watching. Anyone in my Discord, I will post all these plays there. That way you guys can see them there. If you want to join my Discord, send me an email to wagermethis@gmail.com, and I will send you a link to my Discord. It's completely free. There's a lot of handicapper sports bettors on there, guys that do hockey, guys that do foreign hockey, they do foreign soccer. There's even some F1 stuff here and there when the World Cup was going on. There's just a lot of guys on there that know a lot about sports. They have a lot of good angles, so myself included. So, and it's more direct interaction with me. You can directly interact with me that way, real time. I also give out live bets on there, so to other guys. We have a guy that's really actually kind of killing it in hockey right now. Seems like everything he posts hits, so a lot of plus money plays in hockey. But anyways, guys, thank you for your time. This is Jacob from Wager Me This.